Greetings! Greetings, humanity! There's stuff happening! Thank you so much, folks, for the subs and for the gift subs. That is awesome. Yay! I'm terribly excited because we are once again venturing into TTRPGs. I'm Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is session 0 of our new campaign of Bookhounds of London, a setting for Trail of Cthulhu by Pelgrane Press. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody before I hand things off to our keeper. And we'll just say who we are and who we are playing. Thank you so much. But we will start. I gave no one a warning as to what order we were going in, so this will be fun. We're starting with Celeste. Hello.
If you'll allow me, because it's been like almost 2 years. Finally, Celeste has come back to the TTRPG streaming scene. Hi, I'm Celeste. Oh man, I need to redo my spiel because I don't want to plug my Twitter anymore. I'm Celeste Pastor. I don't do a whole lot of things on my own channel, but I do things on other people's channels, like right here. Hi, I'm here. I use they or he pronouns. Are we talking about characters yet? Introducing characters yet?
Yeah, just say who you're playing.
His name is Phineas Webb. He's a bookseller. It's going to be great.
Excellent. And now we will head over to Hollow. Hello.
Hello, I'm Hollow. I'm here. I do things on other channels, but not my own because, that would involve time and effort. I am going to be playing Matthias Dorn, the investigator sliding into Antiquarian.
Excellent. And now we will head over to Danielle. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle. I use she, her pronouns. You can see my blue sky up at the top. I'm also a cosplayer. Jim will set up my Instagram handle later. If cosplay is your thing, you can come find me there. And this is the first tabletop game I've played on stream in like 2 or 3 years now, maybe. Jim, when was the last time we played Invisible Sun?
Oh, my God. It was like...
long time.
Yeah.
2 years.
22? Yeah. I think it was 22.
Yeah. So I'm excited to be back. And I will be playing Evie DeVere, who is a whole bundle of fun.
Awesome to have you back. And now we will head over to Lynn. Hello.
Hey everyone, I'm Lynn. She, they, illustrator and player of games on other places, and in here. Last time here, so we played Dune, and we had an artist enclave. And that was a lot of fun. But I am playing in this game, Lynn Starling, the catalog agent, aka opportunist.
Excellent. And I am going to be playing Kenneth Finley, who is a criminal. And before I hand things over to our keeper, you may see us use safety tools from time to time, like we do with other games on this channel. We're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may make references to abuse of power, asphyxiation, betrayal, body horror, boiling fluids, cannibalism, chemicals, classicism, cults, darkness, drowning, drugs, eldritch horror, explosions, exposure to harsh weather or hard vacuum, fire, gaslighting, glass, gore, greed, harsh light, heights, hostility, imperialism, insects, loud noises, mental illness, murder, mutation, nightmare imagery, poverty, the demonic, theft, vampirism, vehicular accidents, and war imagery. It may also have the potential for PvP action depending on the player's choices. If you would like to see the list that I just read off, You can, if you're watching live, you can type !book CW in chat, and that will display the content warnings. And it's going to also be coming up periodically on rotation. I see hype things going off. It's delightful. Thank you all so much. Yay! We're back to TTRPGs. I am elated over the whole thing, and I think then please remember, just as one final thing, that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So now, I am delighted to hand things over to our keeper, Pope. Hello.
Hello, everybody. It is great to be here, and it is great to be back, especially so soon after playing both the worst and one of the strangest characters I have ever had the delight of playing before. There's a lot of familiar faces, and some new to me, which I'm very excited about, and I am overjoyed to have this opportunity to share with all of you a game that I've had in my grubby hands for 7 years and have never been able to run before. So this is a long time coming, and I'm absolutely stoked, excited for a story that not only embraces the Cthulhu mythos, but also is explicit in that these are not good people. Welcome to 1931 London. You are on the backs of the Great Depression, and these individuals trade in tomes that may or may not open up to unimaginable landscapes of pure terror and debauchery. And they are perfectly fine with this. This is a for-profit operation dealing in the worst aspects of the occult and human conspiracy, and maybe a few inhuman conspiracies. So, tonight, we're not meeting these people. Not really, not yet. First, we get the joy of establishing where these folks hang their hats, ply their trade, and who their rivals are, and also who are their regulars. The people that come in and out of their shop, that buy the things they have on offer, and maybe make requests. So, first things first, let's figure out precisely where the bookstore is located. And for that, I have to go over to Phineas. Phineas, what's your credit rating?
I have this written down somewhere. Why didn't I have this pulled up before? I'm so professional at this.
It's all good.
Hello, Discord, please respond. Thank you. I have this written down. 4 is what I went with.
Okay. 4 gives you as a group some options. You can go 1 lower, the same, or 1 higher for the bookstore. And now, for all of us, I'm going to go over what that looks like. So starting from the bottom, credit rating 3. The smell of tea, or wine in some shops, is stronger than the smell of dust and damp. Actual shelves line the walls and march down the middle of the sagging linoleum floor. The shop's politics may be modishly left, but the stock is staunchly Victorian, or even Regency. Its bohemian clientele browses for books in Bloomsbury, Soho, Clerkenwell, or Covent Garden. The catalog may aim at a specialist or avant-garde trade. There isn't quite enough quality stock to justify a general catalog, which doesn't mean there isn't one. May own a dangerous, shabby van or truck. Credit rating 4. By now, the sign no longer reads second-hand books. At the high end, there's no sign at all, rather a door plate, engraved antiquarian books, and a concession to trade. The shop's name is still painted on the window, but in much nicer lettering. Mostly ochre pine shelves hold mostly good, or at least interesting, books. The 17th and 18th centuries can give the 19th century a run for its money here. The fittings all match, the lighting is good, likely located in the city or in a prime spot on one of the main bookseller streets, Charing Cross Road, Cecil Court, Fleet Street, or High Holborn. The catalog is thick and has a wide circulation, even in the USA. The shop likely owns a fine truck or at least a decent automobile. Credit rating 5. This resembles a professional office or club library rather than a bookstore. Shelves are uniform, of cherry or mahogany with glass doors. The lighting is indirect or cast by Tiffany glass lamps. The only bookshop on its street, and that street is likely in a good neighborhood. Mayfair, Belgravia, St. James Park, or perhaps in the city center, if it caters to the financial or investment trade. It uses hired trucks and men rather than concerning itself with having its own automobile. Its catalog is expensively, even ostentatiously printed. Its stock is elegantly bound and subtly displayed. First editions, even a few incunabula. Nothing under £10, I'm afraid. Perhaps you'd like to try W.H. Smith's. They cater to a more commercial customer. So those are your choices as to what kind of bookstore and its locales you can have. So what do y'all think?
Celeste, you're the bookseller.
Yeah, this isn't just my call. Like, I thought it was more interesting being sort of like high end ish, but not all the way up there. Just because I felt like
The good/bad news is there's one above 5.
Mm.
That's 6. That's, you have to know the right people to know this place.
You know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah. And it's not minimum £10. That you're placing that first digit with one that's 5 or higher.
Mhm,
You have to
mhm.
ask, you don't belong here.
Mm.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And I'll just come out and say, given my character's background, I would vote for 4 or 5 personally.
Okay.
4 feels good. I don't know what everybody else is feeling.
4 leaves you guys somewhat hungry.
So I think it's literally the cap for our personal credit rating in Bookhounds.
Your personal credit ratings have to be within 2 of this.
Everyone's, or are we just talking about Phineas's?
Well, Phineas has to be at least within 1. But the rest of y'all can, I should say, if Phineas allows, you can borrow the credit rating of the store.
I have some terrible news for everyone.
Oh no! How far? How much off? How
Is it
much
1?
off?
Is it 1, Jim?
Oh, you can't.
It's one.
Yeah.
I did buy a one.
Yeah.
I bought one.
You can't be seen.
Try it all down.
No. This is both great
Yeah.
and terrible.
I love it.
Because what this means is, in order for you to pretty much do anything financially, someone else has to accompany Phineas.
I think that's
Just
funny. I think that's a great, yeah.
Just to clarify, when you say within 2, it's within 2 in either direction, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
So you could be even higher and be maybe slumming it. But
Yeah. Okay.
it means
you need to accompany Phineas and see what that looks like.
Like,
you got a
Phineas,
5 or a 6.
you guys get to decide who's the minder on any given day for your beloved criminal.
Oh. I see.
Actually,
So,
But there's plausible
you'll-
deniability. We would not employ anyone
Wait, no,
that looked like that was in that
No.
crime.
I have an idea now that this has come out. Bear with me. This is, again, we are collaboratively storytelling. Phineas, how
Yeah.
recently have you been paroled?
Oh my god.
Mike, are you talking to Phineas or to
Kevin-
Kenneth?
No. Kenneth is what I meant.
Sorry.
How recently were you paroled?
So that's an interesting question. No, it's been probably. What part of the 30s are we in?
1931. We are.
Oh
very
shit.
close to
Okay,
that.
so it was relatively recently. Then
Oh,
it would have been very recently because look, the thing is that there has to have been time. I need to explain that I want to say it's been at least 6 months. It probably needs to have been at least 6 months, but the strange irony is the real crackdown on the organization I was with has not fully begun yet. So they actually caught me while they were still, struggling for support against the gang wars. So I'm, it would have been, it has to be at least 6 months, because a lot of stuff has happened in that time. And most notably so I would have been released. So I would say 6 months to a year, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to continue on this sidetrack for a moment. So, Jim,
Yeah. Yes.
we are going to create your parole officer.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Is it okay that I'm down in London? I think that's the first question.
I think you get to figure out whatever it is that you did.
Well, because what I did in Glasgow.
Yeah. But the department up there and maybe for your safety, depending on what you did, moved you down to London, near Scotland Yard.
Are you in witness protection?
I guess maybe I might be. I don't know.
He gets to decide this. It's just they wanted him near home base.
Yeah, I think that. Okay. So I think the part of it was that my uncle, who is, my uncle, he got me a job, sort of a watchman job over at the London Midland and Scottish Railway, and that does not pay very much, but I know another person who actually frequents the bookstore, and as a result, that I got introduced to everybody that way is kind of my thought. But
I'm
there's a
thinking
bunch
you
of
were hired
backstory.
on because I owed somebody a favor.
Oh, well, I think we can collaborate in that. One of your regulars just so happens to be Jim's parole officer.
Yeah, so it definitely could. Yeah, it's got to be either that or my uncle. For as far as the person, if you want someone to owe a favor.
Considering the details. I'm almost certain it's not your uncle that's the person that's frequenting the store. I think it's.
Oh well,
I have ideas now because some people gave me backstory, and I have now. You have introduced the possibility of an occult detective on Scotland Yard. I have to take this.
Okay, that is that is obviously an option. My thought was just that my sort of girlfriend goes to the bookstore fairly frequently.
That is also perfectly fine.
And because my thought was she occupies the space of the person who works in an art gallery nearby and gets bored a lot because they have no sales and comes over to the bookstore frequently. Type deal, basically.
That's totally legit, considering that you guys are like, again, you're saying you're at 4, which means you are open to the public and still service the public. You're just very nice for public, as opposed to leaning towards more private sales. So, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
So, Jim, tell me what is the name of your parole officer?
Okay, well, I'll need to grab that. This is someone local then. Which let's go with Bertram Dimes.
Fantastic.
Oh, Bertie Dimes.
I'm putting Bertie in parentheses.
I think he doesn't like being called Bertie, but I do it anyway.
Yeah, I think that.
No. I am now. It is now established that is a nickname that he has gotten from one of the local men's clubs. He hates it, but it is stuck.
I've been kicked out of many men's clubs.
Okay, I'm beginning to both see Bertie in my mind and hear him. The actor who played the Onion Knight is currently my face claim.
Ah.
And he doesn't like Matthias.
Oh my god.
Good old Bertie.
Yep. Got that one. Okay.
Oh
Moving on. Sidetrack done. Let us go around now and get some details about the bookshop. First, let's look at locale. You've got some very interesting choices at 4, with Charing Cross, Cecil Court, Fleet Street, High Holborn. That is a very interesting set of neighborhoods. Especially considering, and this is not just for our wonderful performers, they already know this is more for you, the audience. Again, I'm a long time 40K fan, and there's this underlying understanding when it comes to 40K lore. Everything is canon, not everything is true. And for our 1931 London, when it comes to the supernatural, everything is canon, not everything is true. And so Fleet Street being an option definitely conjures things to the mind.
Terrible bar on Fleet Street. Terrible.
Absolutely atrocious.
The worst.
There is still a pie shop on Fleet Street. Um,
Great pies, terrible pop.
so do you want to be? I love the idea, Jim. Since you've given me also the girlfriend, that there's the art shop and the art gallery, I should say, has bought out multiple stalls slash floor above the pie shop.
Oh no. So we probably go there all the time.
Yeah,
I should also
at the pie shop.
Yeah. If this helps at all, I should point out she is also from Glasgow. She was a childhood sweetheart type thing. Well, off again. We're best mates, but it's complicated. Yeah. But anyway.
Oh,
yeah. Her family moved to London when we were in our teens, and then I moved into a life of crime, basically. I'm sorry I keep spilling out backstory, but I'm realizing that we're talking about adjacent things. So,
yeah, we're building up the street. We're doing that as well. So, yeah, no, unless anyone has any objections, I would strongly advise Fleet Street.
Yeah, I love
fun and
Sure,
nice.
sounds great.
Bring it on.
I love that pie shop. That barber can go to hell, though.
I think he did go to hell.
Literally, perhaps in this case.
But I mean, one of you would have to check.
I'm never getting a cut there again. Some judge walked in and they didn't even finish my shave.
Yeah, but the pie shop definitely still exists. Definitely still owns the basement of the building. None of you have gone into the basement of the building. But yeah, I love the idea that, like, I'm now picturing this, like the galleries got like multiple of those stalls. You have the pie shop, and it's on the corner. And directly across the street is your guys' shop. And considering that your credit rating 4, you have both main floor above, and your guys' basement. So now we need to sort of decorate, fill this place out. And we're going to go around, each of you give me a detail of the bookstore. And, let's start with Lynn. What do you think? Give me a detail for the bookstore.
Ooh. I'm kind of thinking like the layout is sort of like labyrinthine. There's like a lot of like little aisles and like a lot of like little like aisles and places that you can kind of like you're not exactly sure how much it makes it a little more difficult to gauge the actual stock that we have. It's more or less depending on how well you're willing to kind of like go further in, you know.
Hey. Hello. Give me a detail about the bookshop.
You actually can't see the books from the front of the store. The front of the store has sort of this small, like, 4-stair walk up, and these two rotunda is not the word. These two like large outset bay windows, and these half curtains, and the shop is slightly recessed from those. So if you're going to the shop, you already know it's a bookshop. You already know what you're here for, but you can't actually see any of the books from the window. It's not sort of that London, James C. story, filled with so many books they pile through the window. Like it's neater than that because we serve at least a slightly more upscale clientele.
Okay, so it's scaled back. Now I just have a interesting question for the group because that brings it up. You have these two half curtain bay windows sticking out. I can almost see them in my mind, like they're not quite like attached to the ground outside. Like there's a little bit of a lip over.
Mm-hmm.
And do you put on displays during the holidays? Guys,
I would love that.
Put up a tree, maybe like you have like for Halloween, like a crocheted jack-o'-lantern or something like that.
I would love to do holiday displays.
Okay, so that's the usage of the bay windows. It's not to display the books, it's just to like have these little like displays during the holidays. Sort of brighten the street a little. Nice.
After Halloween, but before we set up for the holidays, we have a little thing for the 5th of November.
Oh yeah, no, I can totally see you guys having like Guy Fawkes and effigy, like hanging in your bookshop, because that is something the kids will absolutely adore.
You have to shut me up by saying Guy did nothing wrong.
Why do we have that in the front? Why? You know how much.
Yeah, it's so enticing during that time. Okay, I'm getting this. Celeste, give me a detail about the bookshop.
I'm gonna go for my old standby. Weird ass taxidermy.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that gets.
That's in the window too.
That's in the window. I was going to say that gets. You just
That's
just
the default.
Yeah.
When
When there's not a holiday, weird ass taxidermy.
Oh no. We should leave the taxidermy in even when it's a holiday.
Yes.
Oh
And the taxidermy
no!
just gets
Oh no!
decorated
It's oh no! We have the neighborhood like the equivalent of a 12-foot the year-round 12-foot skeleton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except it's like a taxidermied like big fox or something like that.
It's like a badger.
Badger, yeah.
I'm all for a badger.
I wouldn't necessarily go for a badger, just knowing some UK culture. I can see you guys having a fully taxidermied stag.
Ooh,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah.
We put sleigh bells on it for Christmas.
And a red nose.
That Guy Fawkes display is gonna be real weird.
No. You guys put on like traditional garb of the time on the stag for Guy Fawkes Day. You have hats.
Yes.
So yeah, I can see taxidermy stag in one window, and then because you said weird taxidermy and keeping up with the Empire having far reach and weird tastes, I can see the other window has a taxidermied cheetah. It's exotic. No one's seen these.
How good is a taxidermy on the cheetah? Is it like one of those ones where it's like, if you've seen a cheetah before, it's like.
I'm gonna dig out an old meme here.
Yeah, like
from the old days of the internet, but all I can think of is Chuck Testa.
Oh my god!
In the year of our Lord 2025, you are in.
Said it was an old meme.
Chuck Testa.
Said it was an old meme, guys.
We're going to Chuck Testa the cheetah. Oh my.
I mean, they don't know that's not what a cheetah looks like, you know?
No, they don't. They don't know. They just don't know. Uh, except for a few educated or well-traveled folk, and they have opinions. But yes, you guys have a cheetah. Uh, yeah, and I can also see like um behind the counter. Again, you all have veto power, but I can also see like there's a monkey. Um, there's I had to. I mean, we you've got this bookstore in weird you specifically said weird. So yeah, there's a monkey, and may have been one that escaped the zoo.
Hmm.
Uh
I mind armadillo. Those are always.
Again, you guys have some connections to the US. So yeah. And I can also see like a fox up there as well. So you got some weird stuff, and I think in one of the labyrinths it ends with just a giant bear's head. Oh, it's like one of the few places that actually has a chair for customers to sit down. But you have to get to that section of the labyrinth.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's the ability to like before like it gives you more time to like, you know, put the sail on, you know. You just walk them through. It's like
no, like I'm starting to get the idea and the layout. And this is like the precursor to the Infinite IKEA.
mm-hmm.
So Danielle,
Yes.
give me a detail about the bookshop.
Okay, I got one for you. So if you get down on the floor and you look at the baseboard of the bookstore, there are tiny little runes etched on the baseboard all the way around and through the shop. And they were there when Phineas acquired the building. We don't precisely know what they do. We guess that they are protective in some way, but that's really just a guess. We have no idea what they're actually for.
I have known an awful lot of weird and strange people in my time. This is more of an indictment of me than anybody else. I'm going to say yes to the runes, but I'm going to say yes and.
Sure, bring it.
The runes are inlaid in silver.
Yes, absolutely.
And in some places, the studs in the walls are wrapped in silver cord.
Can I maybe add one more detail on top of that?
Sure.
The layout kind of like there's some areas where the layout follows where the runes are. Just because it's like just kinda...
Jim, would you like to give me a detail about the bookshop?
Okay, so I would you like the there are two things in my head. Would you like an ominous detail or a surreal detail?
Let's go with the surreal first, because we're going to do at least one more round.
Oh, okay. So the for some reason, this bookstore has a significant mountaineering section. And it includes a miniature mountain in that section that you can climb. We're not sure why it's there, but people climb it because it's there. Or at least I'm not sure why. Maybe Phineas knows why it's there. I have no clue what the thing is doing there.
No. That with things being established, as strange as it was that Phineas, now we have established Phineas acquired this building later, doesn't know about the runes. You don't know about the mountain. It was just there.
Yeah.
Again, I am very much of yes and. Okay, you have given me a mountain that people climb in the shop. It's the ceilings for the ground floor are higher than any of the other buildings nearby.
And it doesn't have to be huge. It can just be,
No, the
height of the
the
shelves.
ceiling is precisely from the floor to the ceiling is precisely 13 feet.
Ah, that's a good number.
And there is barely seen if you get to the top of the mountain and you're not a small individual, you can see that there is a notch that looks like it might open a trap door. People have fiddled with the thing and haven't gotten it to open in the entire time Phineas has had the building.
May.
So, Lynn,
There's a lock up there.
Yeah, there might
There's
be.
a lock up there that no key to the building that I have fits.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. I'm going to yes and that. That has a lock in there in the notch. And then there's a door in the basement that, again, you don't have the key to. Might be the same key.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Lynn, give me a detail.
Ooh. Hmm. I like it that we have it's kind of like low light in the inside all times.
Okay. I have an idea
Mm.
why it's low light. The wiring for this old place. It's all using Edison lamps and bulbs.
Mm.
So if you're familiar with an Edison lamp or an Edison bulb, like, again, very thick glass, very thick wire. It is an orange glow. And the lamp covers are metal
Mhm.
to disperse and dissipate the light. Also help shield things from the heat of the damn thing. So yeah, the building has a ton of these, and they're installed directly into the ceiling, hanging down.
Is there like, since you said there's a bunch of them, is there like a barely perceptible like buzz that happens all like just at all times?
No, that's the nice thing about them. There's no buzz. With the bulbs, there's absolutely no buzz. They're perfectly silent. But it is a distinctive amber hue.
Yes.
And it is the other thing, it's hard to read by. So yes, it's low light. It is enough to see by. And definitely see, like, as long as the script on the spines of the books is thick enough, you can read it. But actual, like, small detail, not pleasant. So yeah, interesting for that kind of wiring, because that wiring's much thicker than it would be in other places.
It kind of also weeds out the less like the walk-ins and the less serious. Like they're not going to want to say, but if you know what you want,
Oh, yeah, if you know what you want and you can find it, then good on you.
Mhm.
But otherwise,
it dissuades like the Borders customers who are just like, I'm gonna just sit here and like look at this thing, and just kind of loiter. It's like, no, you're here for a reason,
like
specific reasons.
you were here for a reason. I can see again, like with that labyrinth with the bear's head and the chair. Like there is one like desk lamp.
Just makes like taxidermy just look way more creepy with this.
And the desk lamp is that absolute classic English green lamp shell. So like the bulb itself will give you decent light to read by, but the rest of the room is lit up in this sickly green to go with the amber hue.
I do like there's a certain sense of theatricality with like having to come here. It's like you're getting like slightly like dangerous. Not dangerous, but just like, yeah.
Again, you guys are already starting to cultivate like the classic anime creepy secondhand store of curiosities here. It's kind of developing.
Don't worry, I can make it creepier.
By all means. With that, let's go to you, Danielle. You have a
Oh, I got another one for you. Yep. Okay, so well, I was going to put a hatch in the basement, but you've already put a door in the basement, so we'll skip that one. On the second floor, where I assume we have like office space or something like that, there is a window, probably facing Fleet Street itself, that is the latch on it is stuck. It cannot be opened. We've never managed to get it opened. And every single one of us has noticed that sometimes when you look out that window, you don't see Fleet Street. Sometimes you see something else. And the something else varies.
I'm going to yes and. There's one consistent thing that you see. And it is in the shape of a woman.
Creepier. Love it.
That is the only consistency. But it only happens when you're alone.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're alone and you do see Fleet Street, sometimes you see the woman on Fleet Street too.
Yes. Hollow. You're muted, friend.
Am I?
Not anymore.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was putting in my notes, pining for ghostly woman in window.
Everyone's got to have goals.
Gotta have goals. Ghostly woman, there it is. She's the only one, I swear. I think that Pope, you'll know what I'm putting down here. There's a book that pops up around the shop. It's kind of ghostly. It's never done. It's in different spots around the shop. It's never in the same spot. But when you find it, it's in some sort of state of unfinishedness. It's either the binding or the words are half written, and what is written is gibberish.
I'm going to yes and you and slightly change this.
All right.
You always open it, and what it opens to, you can open it to a different page. But the first time you crack it open, the one sentence on that page in English states, "Blood for the god, water for the new king."
All right.
So yeah, that's just a thing that travels around the store. Jim, please give us your thing.
um, I wish more ideas hadn't started flooding my mind moments ago. Because now I'm even for some reason silly things are now occurring in the back of my head. But okay, I'm going to. I once again I'll provide a choice. Do we want the ominous thing or the silly thing?
I think ominous this go round. We're kind of like doing the ominous thing this round.
Okie doke. In addition to the locked door that no one can find the key for in the basement, for some reason there's a meat locker in the basement.
And it's bolted into the floor. You can't move
I feel
it.
like you can get into the meat locker if you want to. It's just that
you can certainly get access inside the meat locker.
There's no we have no reason to have a meat locker.
Neighbors do.
No.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I already know what's in the meat locker. It's all the hats for the taxidermy display.
Hmm.
It's our holiday
Friendly, will we
decoration
keep
storage.
Yes. That's the meat locker.
Tinsel's in there.
Tinsel and like it can't. This is a really nice candelabra. Why do we have this? Like, yeah, and all the different hats, scarves.
Just a bunch of weird props get thrown in there that we have no idea why.
Yes.
Little tiny top hats and canes.
Oh no! I'm adding to the taxidermy now. You had to say that out loud.
Oh no!
You know where I'm going with this. There is a setup of tiny taxidermied mice.
Yeah.
Now that exist. You have top hats and canes for them. You also have an outfit to make them wise men.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
This is gonna piss off the mice that already live here. I can tell you.
Awesome.
I'm just picturing like Elf on a shelf. The mice move around.
That you have no mice in this building.
You know, and honestly, you know what? If I lived the place that had taxidermied, like, I would not stay there. It's like, okay, no, this place is bad.
Yeah, it's surprising. You guys have no pests, even if you eat there.
But you know what? That means no silverfish in the bookshop, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, no, none. Like, if anything, like you bring books in, you might find insects that were in the things that you brought in dead.
Definitely those runes in the baseboard.
I mean,
doing their job.
It's as long as it's not like doing anything untoward, don't question it. It's fine.
Keep calm and carry on.
Pest control.
Because if you poke around too much, you might break it, and then the pests come back. So you know what? Best leave it to what it's doing. Who knows what it's doing? I don't know.
What we don't know hasn't hurt us yet.
Okay, so we've got a good rough idea about the shop. Now, what I need from all of you is some of the shop's stock. This allows me to better define some of the random clientele, as well as give me an idea of what you already have in stock without spending your bookshop points. for things like squibs or squizzes or bribes. So these are things that you guys already have on hand. And it's established that they are currently there. You each get to give me 2. So we'll do 2 rounds.
Is this like a specific thing that we have, or just more general about the stock?
This is a specific book.
Okay.
I want you to think about title. Doesn't have to be real. It can be real, or it can be real slightly. But I need title. I need name of author. And because we are these kind of nerds, I need the edition. So with that, I'm going to be, again, slightly scattershot. Hi, Jim. Give me a book.
I need to look and see when this came out.
Okay.
I just need to see real quick. 1920. Okay. Is that too recent? Do we need older than 1920?
No, you can have something recent. That's perfectly fine.
I feel like there is a pristine copy of RUR by the Czech writer Karel Čapek. The play RUR.
Yeah.
Yeah. The play about robots.
And
That's where the word robot comes from, for anyone wondering.
And it's a first edition copy. Pristine, you say?
Yes.
No notes taken in it, nothing like that. No dog ears, an absolutely pristine copy. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, Danielle, give me a book.
All right, I am gonna make one up. So gonna give me one moment. I am working on some background for you. Okay. I'm about to butcher some German. Yeah.
The English love butchered German.
Okay. So the name of the book is Der Ursprung der Schatten, which I will put in the chat if you need it, but it means the origin of shadows in German.
Ah, excellent.
And we will say that the author is a man named Albert Eichinger. Put that in the chat. And I think this is not a first edition. This is like a second edition, but what makes it special is that this one is illustrated.
Very good. Celeste, give me a book.
I've been struggling with this one. I meant to do more research coming into this, and I didn't.
It's fine.
I'm thinking like I've got loose concepts and not like solid like names and titles and stuff, but like I want some like alchemy book, like and like when I say alchemy, I mean like, you know, Philosopher's Stone type shit. Like some kind of treatise on a substance.
Okay. Give me a second. Let's keep.
I'm so good at the broad stroke stuff. It's the specifics that I can't.
It's fine. Let's. Okay. Fun times. I actually have a book for you.
Cool.
Um,
If nobody got me, I know Pope got me. Can I get an amen?
Um,
Mm.
the reason this book is interesting is that it is a second edition copy that has an additional section which has a treatise on lead.
Ooh.
This is a copy of De Messina Regia et Vere Heroica, Caledonia, 1609. I'll put that in the chat.
Thank you.
This is a book, as we already have one German, so we might as well have another German.
Yes.
This is a book by physician and counselor Michael Mayer. Also put that in chat.
Ah, yes. I definitely heard that spelled another way.
But yes, that is an interesting second edition copy. It also has notes in certain margins written in what might be blood, written in Latin.
And I feel like there's a name on the inside cover, a name that isn't the name of the author and isn't the name of anybody that we know. Like, and it wasn't even necessarily someone who owned the book. Like, it's not like this book belongs to name here. If found, return to individual. No, it's just a name.
Oh, you're giving me a random name to put in the book?
Like a French name.
It just has, and Hollow, you'll appreciate this. The name is Demarchand.
Ooh. Yay.
I can't help myself.
Oh, all right, guys, pack it up.
Game's over.
No. The games are just beginning. Remember, I don't want to kill you all. The suffering ends that way. So, with that, Hollow, now you get to give me a book.
Yes, I'm going to give you the most normal book possible. so normal, it'll get weird no matter what I do. It is a copy of Birds of America by John James Audubon.
Nice.
Which edition?
It's the only edition because there's only 13 ever.
Oh, I see. And you happen to have one.
Right. You happen to have one.
One of the 13.
One of the 13. Right. I said a book so plain that it goes all the way back into being creepy.
I mean, why are there 13 of them?
Nobody seems to know, honestly. There was only 13 of the books ever printed, and it's considered one of the most beautiful books in the world because it's all hand illustrated by Audubon.
So, this is not in the public collection, I would hope.
No.
This is locked up somewhere in the building.
Oh, yes.
Good to know. Lynn, please give me a book.
Ooh, okay, here we go. Works of Medical Astrology, Volume 6.
Okay, interesting. What are some other details of the book?
Hmm. You know what? Ooh. Black paper, white ink.
Very interesting. Okay. That's definitely in the collection.
And I'll say, let's make it. Oof. Let's make it 1638. We'll say that.
Okay. So it's interesting now, like I'm seeing, oh, you guys got a nice collection of 17th century books on top of the Mountaineer collection. Jim, give me a book.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm going to give you a gift now, I think, probably. Because of...
Oh, by all means, I love gifts.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, oh.
It's not this
I
edition,
have.
by the way.
No, it's not. I actually have very specific questions because I know an unfortunate amount about that book.
Ah, yes. Good.
Which edition is it?
You know what? The funny thing is that I was just looking. I was trying to see, various editions, and there are a couple that look pretty. I know it went through, I'm seeing that it went through like 28 of them. So this is not one of the early ones, but it's let's see, reasonably speaking, maybe we'll go with the 1669 because it has a nice image of sort of a Hermes-like figure on the cover, and
Okay.
I'm not sure which number edition that is. We can figure that out.
We can figure that out.
But
The
I think
1669.
that there is, and it's been probably bound and rebound. And I have a second part to this gift that I'm about to give you.
Okay.
Because there is, as it turns out, there is like there is a thing written inside this rebound cover, indicating whose book it was at one time, and it says property of Wilhelm Grimm.
Nice.
All right, then.
Nice. I'm going to add one tiny detail.
Okay.
If you open it from the back cover, for some apparent reason, you can hear church bells.
Okay.
That comes with a free squiz.
And for anyone who didn't see, it was the Malleus Maleficarum 1669 edition.
Yes. A book written by an incredibly hateful man.
Yes. Heinrich Kramer, the German.
Yes. A man who was more obsessed with being able to abuse others than anything even resembling justice.
Yeah.
Well, Danielle, give me a book.
Yep, I'm going to make up another one for you.
Delightful.
So, this book is called Whispers of the Nile by Dr. Zachariah James, a British someone from British academia at one point. The book is more recent. This is probably from like the mid to late 1800s, probably more like the late 1800s. So it's fairly recent. Ostensibly, it is a travelogue of the author's visit to Egypt. What makes this special is a first edition, but that's not what makes it interesting. What makes it interesting is that this contains the author's handwritten annotations, and they are verified. And it's very clear from reading the annotations that the book was sanitized for publication, uh, basically cleaned up and made more palatable for the masses. Because as you read the author's notations, things get inevitably creepier and creepier, and the annotations get more and more deranged until by the end of the book, they are basically indecipherable.
Okay, I have a precise date of when this book was published. This was published in 1897.
Fantastic.
Celeste, I would like a book, please.
I do not trust my pronunciation in this. Mata Mitisheng, which is Tibetan for the final words, published by Nawang Doma in the early 1300s, maybe one of the oldest books in our collection. It's first edition. It's pretty well kept, not perfect and pristine, but pretty well kept. For some reason, it doesn't matter what the ambient temperature in the room is, it's always freezing cold to the touch. Like, you touch it and it's like touching ice.
Okay. Definitely share the spellings. Yes, thank you. No, that is fantastic. Although I would like a book, please.
I'm going to go for another completely normal book.
Yay.
The Grand Dictionnaire de Cuisine by Alexandre Dumas.
Nice. Very nice. I will also give this one a free squiz. There is a bay leaf in it that has been used as a bookmark. Lynn, I would love a book.
Shoot, I can't think. Shoot. Anyone got one? I can't think.
Well, you can give me something broad and I can help you narrow it down. Or if you want, you can have me roll the happy sad die.
Happy sad die.
Oh, goody. Hello, ladies and gents. If you haven't seen me run a game before, I have this little creature of chaos. This is the happy sad die. And it allows me to create things on the fly when necessary, or when a player just invokes the chaos gods. So I'm going to roll this, and from there we will find out what book is in your guys' collection. That was the slightly happy face. I am mildly upset. So, the slightly happy face. All right. Fine. I don't get to have the really interesting things. You get something that is slightly dangerous. Only slightly. You have a copy of the Seleno fragments. Let's type in chat. It is credited to August Derleth, and you have a transcripted copy of it from Miskatonic University from 1916.
Ni- 1960?
1916.
1916,
Oh.
okay.
I thought the book had time travel. I was like, interesting.
No, it
So
is.
let's play on the same page there.
It's marked 1916.
Make somebody create a time traveling book.
No.
I had
Oh.
one on the back burner.
I mean, Hollow kind of gave you one.
Why do we have a copy of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance? What is the...
It's the Tao of Pooh. That's what.
Yeah, that's...
No.
I did have tucked into my back pocket an almanac dated 2114.
No, give me a second. You have invoked my ire now.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
Uh-oh.
Time travel copy of The Secret just came through us.
Here's a monster at the end of this book.
Oh no. You have a book that doesn't have a title.
Oh no.
I see.
All right.
It just has an author. Clive Barker.
Oh,
Oh.
good.
Oh, I see.
Ah, there we are.
It's in gold inlay on black leather. Aside from it, when you open the inside cover, attributing the story to one Clive Barker, the book speaks to you in its prose in first person. It introduces itself as a demon, and it begs for you to burn the fucking book. Repeatedly throughout its story. I have now a question for all of you. Have any of you read this book to the end?
Oh,
Oh.
Absolutely.
I
I'm
procured the
throwing
books.
myself on the
I
sword.
procured the books. It's up to the buyer and the appraiser to read that book.
Antiquarian can't stop. Absolutely.
Cultist can't stop.
Good.
Okay.
I have
think-
to
I
know
think-
what's
I-
in the merchandise.
Jim, I think we're
I
like
have-
we might be thinking like, you know what, that's money. I don't know. I just need to know if it's
No,
real.
that-
They can
that-
they can hang themselves with this thing.
Lynn, I'm so proud of you. As for you who have read the book to its finale, I have news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
News. For those who have played with me before when running news, it's not necessarily good. It's not necessarily bad.
Mhm.
It's just news. I want you to notate on your sheets now a few things.
Such as.
Such as I want you to, each of you increases your occult by 6.
By 6? Oh.
You know, this is great. You know what? You get all the like. Yeah. You know what?
However,
Mm.
whenever you use occult, I get to roll the happy sad die.
Pope,
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out one tiny thing. Apparently, I'm being told in chat that you did not do the hand gesture for I have news.
I have news.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, I get to roll the happy sad time anytime you guys use occult.
that's good. You know what? That's fine.
It's fine. I'm fine with that. You'll get plenty of usage of it out of me because my occult is now stupid high.
The other thing,
Hmm.
there's a second thing. There's a second thing. Touch anything printed on the original Gutenberg press, you are immediately knocked unconscious.
That's also a benefit because if that happens, and you would, you know,
Well, then we know
verify.
for sure it's
We
originally
verify.
printed
Yeah,
on a
we
Gutenberg
verify.
press.
Yeah, we verify it. It's, you know what? Yeah, it's
If the three
not good for you, but it might be good for at least certifying things. But
my audience members want to read some homework, pick up the book Mr. Be Gone. And you will see where I am going with this.
You can already see in the chat, I have read this book.
oh, cool. Hell yeah.
Yep. Yes. No, I am. Yeah, no, you have invoked my ire. You get benefits for doing so, but there also comes with consequences. And yes, Mr. Botch is very upset. He is upset with each of you.
Us in particular, or for particular, or us because we've. Does he say that to everything that
No.
anybody that opens up the book, or us in particular?
No. For Lynn, you and Jim, if you open up the book, it reads as the book is written
Mm-hmm.
that you can pick up today. For those three, it isn't written that way anymore.
Mm.
In certain sections, if they start to read it again, he starts trying to entice or denigrate or starts mentioning things about their private lives, people they care about, making promises and offers in exchange for favors.
Well, Pope, I guess one good turn deserves another. I guess I now have a quest to give this book to Birdie.
That's assuming you can do it, but it's assuming you can do that before Evie finds a way to give it to her family.
Well, the book tells you in the end to give it to someone you hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
I'll put it this way. Of all the horror fiction I have read, and I have read lots, that is one of my most beloved books. And is my favorite of those. would say it's number 19. So, with that, I think now is an excellent time to take a break.
Yep.
Okay.
All of
Awesome.
you-
I am very excited about this whole thing.
All of you, please get refreshed. And for those of you who are with us in chat, if you want to do something fun, throw me a book.
Oh my god. We're doomed.
Audience participation.
Make it terrible book, please. Just make it the worst book.
He knows what he's invokes. Praxis in chat.
The worst
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
He knows
Your
what he
break,
does.
Everybody, love you all.
Make them bad.
We will see you shortly. I will. I will throw on the. I have an interview from a couple of years ago that will be going on, and when we come back, I will look in horror at anything that has been written, and it will be an absolute delight. See you folks shortly. Welcome to the break. I have Trooper SJP with me today to talk about all manner of things. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yay.
All manner of things.
All
the
manner of things. But one thing I wanted to start out with, though, is just you do streaming and a great deal of RPGs. How did you get into streaming in the first place?
It must have been 5 or so years ago when I was watching Geek and Sundry, and that's what got me into streaming. I mean, I wasn't one of the old video game Twitch folks. I got into it through RPGs, and I was watching Geek and Sundry, and that sort of led me to Hyper, which led me to one particular. And I was doing sort of community stuff, and that led me to one of their GMs, and I became a mod in her channel, and Random Tuesday, she's great. And the thing that happened was that I thought, well, this would be fun, but I can't stream because I'm a teacher, and that might be weird. Like, what if my students find me? Like, I just don't know. I don't know if I could do that. It just might not be logistically feasible. And then she ended up streaming on her own channel. She's just started streaming, not just through Hyper RPG, but on her own. And I became a mod, and I thought, she is not only a teacher, she's like a middle school, elementary school teacher. Like, and I'm teaching university students who cares? They're all, you know what I mean? Like, if they actually see me, it probably wouldn't make a big difference. And seeing her do it, and having someone that I could ask questions to and figure out, okay, well, what are the logistics? How does one do this? Like, how do you deal with, because this streaming is not just, can you get the tech up, but it's also, okay, well, do I have to worry about my students finding me? How do you manage the emotional part? And having a model of somebody who was able to create a community and sort of manage it well made me think, oh, yeah, no, I can do this. And I started off easy mode, doing streaming through my PS4, because the PS4 has a button, and I don't actually have to know. I didn't have to know how to do OBS or anything like that, and that just started it. And from there, I figured out how to do OBS, and then from there, like little bit by little bit, I was able to work through it. And I mean, what's interesting to me is that it's a much larger. There's a lot more to it than one might initially think. Especially, are you going to have a Discord and sort of try to do community building through that as well on top of it? Will you do games, RPGs? How are you going to sort of think about getting art or not for sort of setting everything up? What kind of experience do you want to have? And I suppose, what kind of streamer do you want to be? And I learned that there are these streamers who play, I don't know, Fortnite, and they have 18 million viewers every time they show up, and they also stream 80 hours a week. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That won't be, that is interesting, but not interesting for me. And people always say things like, oh, if you want to be more popular, you could stream these things. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to stream what's interesting. And then I think what's great about that is that you then cultivate a community who is there for that. And then you can stream the kinds of things that you're interested in and get a community of people who are also interested in those things. And it's just nicer.
Cool. Now, I see that, speaking of getting into streaming communities, I was looking through your website, and I see that you did a newsletter for one of the, was it a Hyper RPG show?
It was, yes. Yes.
It was for their Shadowrun game.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. So you know how some people are, there are different types of gamers out there, and I have always been a sort of a character-driven simulationist gamer, whereas I'm really interested in the world itself and how people interact in that world. And one of the things I've always loved to do as a GM is, depending on the setting, is create newspaper stories. Because I like to, rather than having a set plot that I do, I tend to have a world, and there are people in the world who have plots they have going on, but who knows what will happen. And I really like to have a world where the players impact the world both in small and large ways. And I always wondered, well, how do I let the players know in an organic way the ways in which they're impacting the world? And having a newspaper was one of those ways that I would do it, where I would sort of come out with a newspaper every couple of sessions that would sort of mark in these small and subtle ways the ways in which they've impacted the world, as well as have plot hooks. And so for this game, which I loved, I thought, well, what could I do? And what I decided to do was to create a reporter character who was in the world that the show was set in. And I thought, okay, here's a person. The challenge for myself is to write stories based on only what was happening in the public of that game. So any kind of conversations happening behind closed doors, a reporter would never know about. But if there's a firefight downtown on the freeway, a reporter would know about that. And then sort of writing these stories that would sort of inform the community that grown up, because there was a bit of a metagame in that particular RPG as well, where viewers could sort of do faction turns. And so I was reporting on the faction turns, and I was reporting on all the public things, and other people became really inspired, and they would also submit stories. And it was just this kind of neat sort of in-game world to show in some ways the ways in which the average person on the street might view Shadowrunners, PCs, and the ways in which that might impact regular folks. And that was really fun. And that was a big project in the end, to sort of put out a newspaper every week. But it was good. It was really good. That was great fun. And that was one of my first my personal big entrance as more than just a viewer for a streamed community.
It's a very interesting thing, really, because it's just I think it just shows how early on we still are with this whole medium, that it can be that engaging. But I haven't heard of many streams doing something like that as of yet. Yeah. But it's very cool. It's very cool.
And it's all about, I think, that's all about player investment, right? Yeah. Or viewer investment, and the different ways in which you can get viewer investment. And I think Hyper RPG does a lot, but a lot of the ways in which shows will generate viewer investment is through donations, but that's not the same thing as having viewers create things. Yeah. And how do you create a show that allows viewers to create things without negatively impacting the campaign? Yeah. Which can happen in all sorts of ways. I mean, I've seen shows where people are able to donate, and donate will get you things, but what that ends up doing is skewing. Like, well, now the players have 18 advantage things, and you're like, well, that's going to be a little bit rough, or trolling happens or whatever. So ways in which you can get a healthy engagement that encourages players to sort of take on the living world and sort of, what did that actually really well? Mm-hmm. It was Shield of Tomorrow had this Discord channel, which was Shield of Tomorrow was a Star Trek RPG on Geek and Sundry. Mm-hmm. And they had in their Discord, they had an RP set of RP channels, and the players would just sort of make up crew members for this sort of Star Trek ship that were on different shifts, right? So they were never seen, but they were around. And then the cast, the GM, saw who they were and then noted them down. So like, oh yeah, so the person who's on shift 3 is so-and-so, and would like name check these people that the viewers had sort of created. And ways in which you can interact that way, I think I'm really excited to see how that can go.
Me too, absolutely. Very much looking forward to how this whole medium evolves as time goes on. Well, thank you very much for coming and chatting with us for a bit. If folks want to find you online, where should they go?
Ooh, you can find me on Twitch at TrooperSJP, which is where I do my streaming. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter, where I speak randomly about things, inconsistently, intermittently, and oddly, and too verbosely. You can find me in either of those places.
We encourage verbosity on this channel. Excellent. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to throw things back over to me, or possibly to a video graphic of some kind, if we're still backstage panicking, which we probably are. But in the meantime, we will see you later. We have returned. Hello. I see there are some recommendations that have come up for books.
Excellent. Give us your worst books.
Yes, there are
In chat.
some amazing books here. Thank you. They will all have them in their collection.
Everything is fine. I'm sure everything will be just fine.
Mhm. Speaking of fine, let's figure out the fine patrons to your guys' shop. Some of your regulars. This will be a single round, as there is a beautiful mechanic in the system where you can create ones off the fly. But I would like to have an establishment of at least a few before game start. So what I need now is a name, rough age, and what it is that they like to pick up from the shop. So with that, let's start with Danielle. Give me a
Ooh.
regular.
Okay, let's see. A regular. Okay, I'm going to give you a name first. The name is Tristan Marshall.
Okay.
And at this point in time, the Royal Societies are still active, right? To check.
Been a bit.
Maybe not. This might be too late for that. Never mind. Scrap that idea. I think Tristan is a clergyman in the Church of England. So his tastes for books run toward the more Christianity adjacent religious types. So angelologies, demonologies.
So like the works of Augustine.
Yeah, you get the sense that maybe he's part of some kind of organization within the Church of England that is doing some guarding of its flock, so to speak. But he never properly lets on what he's actually into, and he's very polite, and he always pays, and good customer. Middle-aged, 40s.
Okay. He's a deacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone who, for regular services, can pinch hit,
Mm-hmm.
but is able to do other things on the side.
Exactly.
All right. Celeste, give me a regular.
I'm going to say one name, and you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, dear.
Julian.
Okay. I want you all to picture a young, a exceptionally attractive Vincent Price.
All right, I'm into it.
He collects from your shop then, specifically actual real-life treatises on magic. Like things like Hocus Pocus Jr. And stuff following the many storied charlatans throughout history and con men. Pretty much anything that was in the personal library of the now deceased magician Ricky Jay is what he would be interested in. And Matthias, he frequents about once a month one of the few clubs you haven't been kicked out of. You can't prove it, but you think he cheats at cards. Danielle, Evie has seen Julian previously punch out your brother.
Well, then she likes him. Well, assuming it's recent.
It was the last time he came to visit you in London. You saw him before he actually came up to your door. You were about there, saw out the window. You saw, again, Julian, who's a regular at the store, just come by and just clock him. Wag his finger. You didn't hear what he said.
Okay.
And then move. It was weird. It was like he was there and then he wasn't.
Interesting. And did Ned come in after that, or did Ned leave?
No. Ned came in.
Okay.
Chipped a tooth.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, she's not exactly on great terms with Ned right now, so it's not, she wouldn't be upset, really. Curious, though. She has her own reasons for wanting to hit her brother.
But yes, he's very jovial. A bit snobbish. But he knows more than he lets on. All right, Hollow.
Let's see here. Lady Aurelia Agnew of the House of Agnew. Her husband is the 7th Baronet, which means he's very far from any sort of title.
Yes.
And she frequents the bookshop for a bit of stimulation because her husband is boorish and is only worried about his climb to actual baronet.
Ah. How neglected would you say this woman is?
I'd say quite.
British quite or American quite?
British quite.
All right. Question: has Matthias seen this woman outside of the bookshop?
No. There is like scandal, and then there's a Bertie Wooster scandal, and I'm not trying to go there.
Fair enough. I just had to ask.
It's like, oh, I could, but if I did, I like my neck where it is. Like,
Fair enough. Lynn, you're
Ah.
regular.
Yes. Regular is Philip Barstow.
Okay.
Regular. More of a, like late 20s, idle rich, travels, but is fairly likes to be a man of the world, but is mostly pretty pedestrian, just kind of like surface things. And he is, above all, he is a mark to people who know what they're doing.
Oh dear. Okay.
And mostly he wants trinkets, books with stories about them for his personal collect that he can display. And we usually it's one thing. I think maybe he's someone that is known around booksellers for you can kind of gas him up a little bit with talking about the book, and then he'll be easily impressed and he can sell.
Okay. I know the type.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just interested in the things that he thinks are impressive.
Or you say that they are.
Yeah.
Or you can back it up. Yeah. You can
that you can convince him
Yeah.
are impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a good way to move inventories every once in a while.
Fair enough.
But he comes around a lot. He likes to linger.
Interesting.
Talk.
Okay.
Depending annoyance or depending on how much you can take him.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Also, for those of you at home, a good part of my inspiration for this campaign is black books. So enjoy that. Jim, give me a regular.
I'm I've been trying to piece one together. Because unfortunately my brain, if I just tell it to do that, it doesn't do that. So I've drawn some interesting cards.
Oh dear.
From across a couple of different things.
Oh dear.
So we have a I would like this to be an eccentric old lady somehow.
Okay.
Because we need one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I have drawn the cards for Time Anomaly, and I have also drawn the Assassin. I don't know if this means anything, but I think that it's just in my head what this just means. If we go mundane with it, it's just a little old lady who is very sweet, but for some reason fascinated with things like medieval torture devices, or just knows a ridiculous amount about poisons, or other things where it's like how to.
Her name is
Yeah.
Agatha Fletcher.
Okay. Predicts people's deaths, maybe, I don't know.
No.
I guess all along from the other room.
She is an author.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She is deeply interested in mysteries. And writing them. And the more violent and not lurid enough to be scandalous, but just on that border.
Excellent.
She is a spry 70, and knows an unfortunate amount about firearms, different martial arts systems, poisons, etc., etc.
Yeah, well, one would have to. Is she writing about a foreign detective by any chance, out of curiosity, or is that...
No.
Okay.
She in particular writes about a young woman of high society that helps her husband solve crimes for funsies.
Okay.
Her husband is eye candy and kind of a blithering idiot, but they're both devoted to each other. And she's the one that solves the crime. He takes the credit. Otherwise,
Yeah.
society would, blow her off.
Yeah. No, it's understandable. Does she wear an interesting collection of hats, or is that just a thing that I'm getting?
Not hats, rings.
Rings. Yes, okay.
She is an avid collector of antique poison rings.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Excellent. I like that. It's a decent series, actually. More people should read it.
It has its following. It's not so much actually here in the UK, but it has a devoted following in France.
Ah. Yeah. Oh. Wherever one can get it sold. Do we carry her books?
Oh yes.
Okay.
She's even done some signings there.
Aw.
But if she does so, it's always around Christmas time because she loves you guys' displays.
Oh yes. Oh, that's true. She probably is a fan of the taxidermy.
Maybe she comes by at Christmas time in particular to volunteer to help us put up the displays.
Did she name the mice?
Mice, yeah.
Yes. Strangely enough, they are Nigel.
Oh no.
Ernest and Thomas.
Okay. I'm just writing them down in the NPC list for no particular reason.
Yes, Nigel, Ernest, and Thomas. Those are your three mice.
Excellent.
And she refers to your stag as Thurston.
Good.
That happens to be the same name as her deceased husband.
A strange coincidence.
That fits with,
Love it.
Okay, we have some regulars now. Now let the fun begin. Tell me, everyone, about the rival bookstore. Where is it located? What's its name? Because I wouldn't think it would be on the same street as you.
it's too many books.
That's too many books. Yeah, it would be difficult to maintain if they were that close together. Maybe we put it in like Charing Cross, one of the other tier 4 levels, so that it's kind of on a similar level with us.
Actually, I have an idea. Because, again, one of the other things I'm a great fan of and why I adore this game is I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. And I'm going to say your rival bookstore is north of the river. So they're in a posher area, but still the same credit level as you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of this place?
Well, have we named our bookstore?
No, you haven't. I was saving that for last.
What is the general literacy level of people in this world currently?
It's very mixed. It is exceptionally mixed. At this time, it's very much about your haves and have-nots, and whether or not the folks have access, time, money. You have some families who are poor that are all literate, but at the same time, you have middle-class people that can't read. So it is very scattershot.
Okay.
Everyone who is a member of higher society, for the most part, is literate. You also have at this time a burgeoning middle class that has fallen on hard times because of Black Monday.
Right.
So there are people that have a higher level of education that are struggling. And are all of a sudden finding themselves in more industrial jobs. Or there were a lot during this period of men who went from, some office jobs, maybe even jobs in finance, to all of a sudden being cabbies and having to gain the knowledge.
Gotcha.
But these were educated men. So it is the shotgun blast of literacy. A shotgun blast with birdshot. Like, it is all over the place. But also at the same time, like, one of the best escapes of the period was books. So, and like, you're part of the way people were able to, have them boost up, and part of the reason this game exists is, yes, there were plenty of secondhand stores for insert thing here, not just books, but also this was an era where you could repair shit.
The reason I asked is because I don't want to dictate a name, but I think that the name should be easily turned into pictures, because this feels like we are coming out of an era where a lot of places would have been named. So you could put a simple picture. So even a simple person, if someone asked in town, a person who couldn't read, where's a bookshop? Oh, like, the Birch and Crown or something like that. Like, like.
Fun fact. This is some London history. Actually, if you want a good recommendation to kind of get a quick education specifically for London history, Jay Draper on YouTube. They are fantastic. And yeah, many of the streets in London to this day are named because of what was sold there.
Right.
And sold there historically, because you would have different streets for different things. Even to this day, there's still that footprint where you will go down a side street and every single shop down that side street is insert thing here. Especially if you're nearby Piccadilly Circus, like, all of a sudden you can take a step down the side street and it's just nothing but bohemian style clothing.
Yeah, it's kind of the feel I was going for. I'm somewhat familiar with the history is. That's what's kind of what I was going for. This sort of like, you know.
Yeah, and no, there's some that have like simple symbols, or they're what was actually quite traditional during this time period. It would just be somebody's name in possessive form.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh.
Somebody's last name in possessive form.
Like somebody's last name, Fine Books. Like,
Yeah.
Ah,
Mhm.
okay.
although I like the idea too, like because you see it a lot in like pub names, for instance, where it'll be descriptive in some way. It's like an object or an animal or something like that. And to your
Or
point,
two
Hollow, like
objects.
you can put that on a sign really easily,
Yeah.
and it doesn't, and you don't like the white stag, and it's a picture of a white deer, right?
Yeah.
And so that's very easy for people to grasp, even if they can't read, right? So right, those are the two different routes I was going down in my head. One, it being actually named after someone, and then the other being like, I don't know.
Also, a
Yeah.
theme during this time, for some apparent reason with the English, bird is associated with book.
Oh.
So insert some form bird
Oh, yeah.
is
that
also a
actually
common
probably
thing.
would be good. Yeah.
So
I've
like
just been
the sparrow or something like that, or the pelican.
Oh,
Is that why Raven's like a writing desk?
yeah, it could be.
Raven's a good bird choice, though, if you
Yeah.
want to incorporate that into a bookstore, a creepy occult bookstore.
No. We probably don't want to go with the thing that I just drew from the. I am still drawing things from the Invisible Sun deck for some strange reason. And I drew the incriminating skull, so that's probably not a good bookstore name. But it does have a raven on it.
Ooh.
But I was also looking up Shakespeare quotes because I was figuring it'd be in a posh area, so maybe they might, do something.
What
where
if
it's
it
like
was
they
just
wanna be
called
weird.
the Raven and Writing Desk?
Yeah, it could be
Actually,
the Raven's desk.
if we want to go full hardcore, like
Mhm.
goth fellow villains, you could call it the Raven Skull. Raven Skull books. All one.
Ooh.
Raven Skull.
Raven Skull Books. That
Oh,
has a
mhm.
nice ring to it.
It might be somebody's name. Or
It might be, or it might be the name of
Pseudonym.
an estate one of them lost.
yeah,
Mhm.
I like Raven Skull Books.
Mhm.
That sounds really,
that's good.
that's pretty good. Yeah, and you could put that on a sign, easy too.
Mhm.
Have the name. Now, each of you give me a nemesis that works there. So, Danielle,
Mm-hmm.
give me a nemesis.
Yeah. Give me a moment. Let's see. Well, I feel like hers has to be the rival occultist at this other shop. And I think it would be fun if they were both. So, for those of you on stream, we haven't gotten to this yet, but Evie is a member of one of the temples of the God, what is the name of it? The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And so I think it would be fun if this occultist was also part of the same temple. And so they have regular interactions outside of the bookshops. And it's like that kind of like simmering, like they're polite to each other's face, but you just know that if one of them got the chance to knife the other one in an alley, they would absolutely do it in a heartbeat. And I think her name is Lily Mae Henderson.
Tell me, does Lily Mae like hats?
Does Lily Mae like hats?
Yes.
No.
Interesting. Next question. Does she walk with a limp?
I like that. Yes.
Does she have a cane to walk with?
Ooh. I think she has one, but she doesn't always use it. She can walk without it. It's more comfortable to walk with it.
Yeah. These little things help me formulate. All right.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon to see Lily May without her cane.
Yeah.
But if she's going to be doing quite a bit of walking or moving about, then she will usually have it on her.
Good to know.
And I think I haven't figured out why, but um I think Evie knows why Lily May has a limp. And if she wasn't involved in some way, at least was like vaguely around when whatever happened.
I have another question for you.
Yeah, bring it on.
Did Lily May know your mother?
Oh, that's a good question. I think to answer that, we have to decide how old Lily May is.
Yes, we do. Or I should say you do.
I know. So I think Lily May is older than Evie, but not quite her mother's age. So maybe like late 30s, early 40s. And yes, I would say Lily May knew Evie's mother. And that actually may be part of the reason why they don't, well, at least part of the reason why Evie doesn't like Lily May is that Lily May refuses to tell her anything about her mother.
Okay. Excellent to know. Celeste, give me a rival.
Candace. I'm feeling like it's the owner of this other bookstore, but I'm trying to decide if Ravenskull is actually the last name or if that's going a little too hard.
Well, again, one of the things is estates all had names.
Yeah.
Still do.
Yeah.
And Ravenskull could very well easily been the ancestral stopping ground that then had to be sold due to, financial collapse.
Yeah. Yeah, screw it. Candace Ravenskull.
Okay.
The proprietress. Proprietrix, actually. They, them pronouns.
Okay.
And our relationship has been cordial, but they came to me for assistance when their estate was in trouble. And it's not necessarily that I was unwilling to assist, I was unable. But they still hold it against me.
Well, certainly. Roughly how old is Candace?
Definitely younger than me by a wide margin. I think they inherited the thing from their mother.
Okay.
Who I had a much rockier relationship with, interestingly enough.
Delightful.
Early 30s.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
And tell me about the time that you suspect one of Candace's agents messed with the truck.
Hmm. Hmm. Candace has a thing about colors.
Okay.
All their people have to be dressed in a specific color.
Okay.
Some kind of tick. Not quite sure about it. But they were dressed in the color, we'll say green. They were dressed in green when they were out there, and I saw the green and I was like, oh, Candace. Like, it immediately pinged in my head. It could have been coincidence. It didn't feel like coincidence.
Okay.
But I have no solid proof. All I have to go on is that they were dressed in a color. That's not going to fly anywhere.
Very much so.
All I have is a color and a gut feeling.
That's good. Hollow, give me a rival.
My rival's name is Callum Wilkinson. They have been the houseman at several prestigious gentlemen's clubs until mysteriously ending up at this bookshop. I don't know why they're there. I don't know how they're there, but they are. Matthias doesn't want to speculate that he either has a bit of bad luck or Callum is following him, but he seems to have been at every place he's been kicked out for the past 10 years. And
how pale is he?
I'd say very.
Maybe a little anemic?
Maybe a little anemic.
How did he break his nose?
Oh, well, it's my he broke his nose on my stolen shillelagh. Fell down 3 times. It was terrible.
And then he ran into my knife. Yeah.
Because in a fit of rage of seeing him for maybe the 4th, 5th, 6th time, just, Matthias lost it. Which, of course, inadvertently got him kicked out of another club. But
You can't expect him to be held accountable for his emotions. Are you crazy?
it's ridiculous.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, Ernest, am not even sure if Callum's responsible for anything. But Matthias is, just like having he's there. He's there. Now he's at the bookshop across town. And I just,
Excellent. Lynn, give me a rival.
Peter Haley.
About what age is Peter?
Probably, I'd say mid-30s.
Okay.
I would say that Lillian and Peter are similar jobs, but also like deeply, dangerously competitive with each other.
So, tell me why maybe you know how,
Hmm.
A boy from Kansas ended up all the way here in London.
Easy. We came here together.
Oh,
Lillian is American?
Mm-hmm.
well, that also
Gadless.
helps explain your American connection for the bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, at any point was Peter sweet on you?
Yes.
Why did that go poorly?
Because I manipulate him to get a book off him.
Do you remember the name of the book?
Oh, can it be one of the ones that we got?
Oh, it can most definitely be one of the ones.
Yes. Yeah, what was the second one? The second one that I like that one. That was
Oh, you mean the Seleno fragments from Miskatonic.
yeah.
You got those off of him.
That was something. That was one of the little nest eggs that he brought with him.
It was a nest egg, you say?
It was something that he knew he was valuable and brought it over.
Hmm. Very interesting. So, was it right after you stole the book that he started carrying a gun, or did that happen later?
Oh, I think that. Let's just say yeah. Let's make it. Let's make it like yeah.
Right after. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Interesting.
Oh, I like to think between we both kind of disguise that where we're from.
Hmm. Yeah, he's actually pretty good with accents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. He's fit, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Kind of broad-shouldered. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't
May
bad
or
looking. Yeah.
may or may not bear a slight resemblance to Cary Grant.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Oh, it's nice. We both carry guns, so that's always good. Doing books that are.
Yeah. No, it's like he he managed to get his hands on an 1911 A1
Mm.
that he carries around now. Jim, give me a rival.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. You can draw some cards for me.
I know I've been kind of doing that a little bit, and it's like it's difficult. Because the different ideas I've been getting are all sort of feel a little too easy. Essentially, because for a while I was thinking, okay, is it another criminal? or okay, is it I had a little traction for a moment of like maybe there's like someone they have over there who's like a forger. This is someone who is is this someone who works at or frequents the Raven Skull?
This one is somebody whose monthly income is tied to the Raven Skull.
Whose monthly income is tied to Raven Skull. Okay. Because there's so many different directions one could go with it. But like, so they probably have, just while I'm looking this over. Okay. Yeah. So do they have, we've already kind of talked about who their bookseller is. I don't think we've talked about yet. Have we talked about yet who their, let me see here. Do we say that is Peter Haley their catalog agent? Also.
Yeah, we'll say
He's their catalog agent. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because if I go Book Scout, that's kind of basically the same sort of thing that I do. So it could be a forger. I'm gonna just start talking about this idea. That it's someone that they have who is able to make excellent replicas of things.
Okay.
And who, yeah, I don't know how tied to criminal enterprises they are necessarily, specifically, as far as like the lending gangs go. The research I've been able to very quickly try to pull up in the middle of everything is not terribly conclusive thus far, because it doesn't really touch on what we're talking. There's a bookmaker, but that's a different thing.
Yes.
But an interesting idea. Here's a thought. So this is I drew the card, the Whispering Lover.
Oh, interesting.
And again, I don't want to do anything that's trite and say this is a rival for my for my girlfriend or anything like that. But I was thinking maybe this is someone who has some kind of romantic attachment to Candace.
Okay.
And but might be it might be a thing where it's like, this is someone I'm thinking this might be an older person who is the nicest person in the world, it seems. And is but is very, and essentially it's one of those folks who, like, they will immediately just sort of be able to take you in with their, for a moment I was thinking, and then this doesn't work with the Lover's card so much, but I was thinking about a nice old man for a moment, as someone who's like might be positioned. I wanted to use for a moment Bernard Cribbins for evil, basically.
No, I'm not going to do that. That is a step too far for me.
Okay.
You don't understand. My nicest Magic the Gathering deck is Wilf.
We're also getting in chat. Someone said a former spy, so that's an option as well if we want to dip in that direction too.
I have an idea, and actually the former spy adds a nice layer on this. I like that they're a forger. I like that they're older. And again, you got the Whispering Lover. I like that it's a woman.
Okay.
And I like that she is definitely French.
see. And then that got me thinking about something else.
Oh,
By the way, when you just mentioned that this is if it is someone who was in espionage at one time,
yes.
because this also then will tie in potentially to the Golden Dawn connection.
Hmm.
Because as we may or may not know, Aleister Crowley
Yes.
was also a spy.
Yes.
He worked for intelligence. And so there might be a connection there. I'm get the most interesting name that's coming up is Alison Wheat is an interesting name. If we want to go in that direction, we could go Maud Wheat. If we want her to be more seemingly down to earth. No, wait, that's British.
No.
Never mind. I'm looking for French names. Names. I apologize.
I have an interesting last name. Brune. The Brunes originated from France and then were later established in Scotland.
Oh.
But-
Oh dear.
Mm.
How dare you, sir?
A noble familial lineage.
Yeah. Oh, well. Oh,
And
crap.
clan.
That is a problem also because of my own backstory, which we haven't really gotten into very much because I haven't even sent you anything about it. But there's a reason why my character's last name is Finlay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
This ties into a former campaign that's been on this channel, by the way.
She is part of the French side of the Brune clan.
Okay. French first name, or would this be?
It would be a French or Scottish first name. I'll let you choose.
I'm seeing Marinette is an interesting French name.
Oh, Marinette Brune sounds very nice.
Yeah, I like that. And just basically French Scott. Oh boy.
Like, this is a character that I can see Prax playing.
Yeah.
I remember the regiment. Do you?
I do. I do. So, alas, this character is getting more and more awesome. This NPC. It's very difficult to hate her, which I think is perhaps part of the point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't have to be the good one. You can be the
You can be the bad one.
We can all be bad ones together.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Like,
That's true.
again,
Oh my God. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe she's actually. We are bad people.
yeah.
Maybe she is slightly less bad people.
Like, the thing is, you're all bad people.
Yes, we are all
in
bad
this
people.
business.
Yes.
She is a spy. She is a forger. She is also a lineage of nobility who is here in London and is trying to have a very quiet relationship with Candace.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
So, Jim,
Yes.
could you tell me about the time she stabbed you?
Oh, well, it's funny because I was not expecting it. As one doesn't because this is probably early on. Let's see.
Hell yeah.
I think it was I think to be fair, I probably deserved it. As it was a thing where, like, we were at a I think we were at a thing. There's a thing, some sort of event. It could have been an auction, or it could have been or it could have been just some sort of like another, just sort of a showcase or something where there were a number of books sort of flowing around. And I one of the things I can kind of do is try to. I do have a little bit of an ability to figure out if a book is authentic. And I was trying to essentially. There was a book I think I was trying to 5-finger discount. There. Because it was one of those things where it's like, well, they're not actually. This is something that didn't sell. It's in this pile. No one is going to miss it. Type deal. But this is actually, I think, something that could be quite valuable. But I need to find out more about it. And it was a thing where, like, I think it could have been it could have been a friendly stab. Basically to be like, don't do that. But or it could have, yeah, I think it just was basically this thing where she just quite suddenly and like I'd seen her at the event, and she was then suddenly right there behind me and laughing while it's almost sort of quietly laughing and attacking me, and I'm like, what the hell? As she was sort of testing me, and so it was like I was about to try to pick this book up. Then quite suddenly, this individual with a very intricately conceived knife, came at me, and I think that I was at a point where it was like, it was a very short fight. The razor came out. But no, didn't happen. Didn't. But it just sort of ended up as sort of a standstill. That's it. It ended up as a bit of a standstill, and then we just sort of walked away. We figured out, okay, that's that.
Okay. Now that sounds good. Let's take a quick break now that we have
we'll take
all
a
these
real quick break.
rivals.
We just need to do some shuffling here, and we will be back shortly. Take care. We're back. Yes, alas, Hollow had to dive out. But we have returned to move toward finishing this thing up.
Yeah. I've got another question, Jim, about the stabbing.
Oh, the stabbing, yes.
Yeah. Did this happen in Frankfurt?
Come again?
Did this happen in Frankfurt, or did this happen in Paris? I can't remember.
Ah, I see. We were abroad then. I think that we have a lot. I think thus far we have a lot more German influences in our book selections and things like that than we have French influences. So it might be good to get more French influence in.
Okay.
So then, yeah, this probably happened in Paris.
Okay. Interesting. Are you banned from the auction house for bleeding on their floor? I mean, that carpet was very expensive.
It was an expensive carpet. That's true. We're bleeding on their floor. I think they probably would. I think that, it was one of those deals where, I think it's just that I think I bled in the wrong place. Really, that's really all it comes down to. So they don't like they don't want me to come back and continue bleeding. They didn't want to deal with whatever it was that had happened.
Yes. And as there was no other gentleman nearby you, you obviously deserved it.
Yes, clearly.
Okay.
This is why he doesn't go places alone.
Yes.
It doesn't. They told me it doesn't count if I do it overseas. But
I think that policy may have changed.
there's a chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we get to the point where it's, what's the name of this place? What's the name of your guys' bookshop?
Webb and Company.
That definitely works.
Yeah.
Your bookshop.
Now, my question is, if that's the case, is the symbol for the bookstore a spider's web?
Yeah.
Oh, you know it is.
Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent. That sounds solid.
Made even more interesting by the fact that we don't have any pests in the actual, like there are no actual spiders in the bookstop.
Yeah. There's absolutely none. No insects, no vermin, nothing of the sorts.
There is one that hangs out on the sign, though.
Hmm.
Not certain why. People think it's engraved into that there's a spider on the sign as part of the symbolage, but that's an actual spider that just hangs out there.
Interesting. Are you sure it's alive?
I've never seen it move. That doesn't mean it hasn't.
Interesting. I wonder why that's the thing that sometimes people see when someone's at that one window. Must be a coincidence. But no, that I think is where we're going to call it for this evening. Now that we have our list of rogues, a wonderful bookshop, a wonderful rival bookshop, an establishment of stabbings, cheatings, wheelings, and dealings, and I am greatly looking forward to unleashing all sorts of hell upon ye.
Ah, excellent.
So let's go around the horn, find out where everybody can find your projects.
Yeah.
And I'll just quickly do a plug here. That way there's nothing but a stinger at the end.
Oh my god. Okay, so you have so normally when I do this, we start with the GM. Is there anything you wanted to?
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on Blue Sky and start playing games. Mercenary GM for hire. Have a session 0 tomorrow night as well for the Meridian Heresy, a 40K horror drama. They'll be underway. We still have 3 seats left, so if you're interested in joining up, by all means. There will probably be a few other games on offer, not necessarily in February, but in March. So keep your eyes peeled for that. The promos for that will go out next month. So if you're interested in maybe some urban shadows, you might want to keep your Sunday afternoons free. And as always, the story is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves, one another. Tell your loved ones how you feel about them, and I'll see you soon.
Awesome. And did you have any final thoughts about the session, or shall we hold that till the end?
I cannot express how happy and grateful I am for all of you fully embracing what this game is about. That this is a story about broken, twisted, flawed individuals in an imperfect world that is out to get everybody. And just being right there with me, yes-anding or no butting, and just going whole hog with this. I am so looking forward to the story that we're going to all craft together. And I hope I hurt you all in the best way possible.
Excellent. Again, we're going to continue going around, and feel free to tell folks where they can find you and give any final thoughts you have about this session and perhaps things of what's to come. And we're going to go in reverse order. So so we now go to Lynn.
Hey everyone, I'm Lynn. Gremlin art on Blue Sky and pretty much any place that has like portfolio stuff. You can find my art there and what games I'm playing in. It's a little bit of some stuff coming up, so keep an eye out. And yeah, I can't wait. There's already so much built-in drama with our stuff. It's gonna be great, and I hope our book dealings comes to bite us in the ass terribly. I can't wait.
Yes. This is going to be fun. Awesome. And now we'll head over to Danielle.
Hi, y'all. I'm Danielle, and you can, if you like tabletops, science fiction, fantasy of all flavors and varieties, cosplay, anything of that nature, you can follow me. You've got my Twitter and Instagram there. My Blue Sky is also Rye Raconteur, the same as my Twitter and my Twitch. I'm not currently on any other streams, nor do I really have anything to plug other than just come and have a chat. I like talking to people about nerdy stuff.
Awesome.
Oh, also, and I'm super excited to play terrible people in this game.
Yes.
That's going to be the best part of this. I'm going to make horribly self-destructive choices, and I support everyone else in their horribly self-destructive choices.
Excellent. And finally, over to Celeste.
Hey, everybody. I am Celeste Pastor on both Twitch and Blue Sky. I am not really doing a whole lot of other streaming things right now. I'm looking to get back into the game. So if you need a seat filler at any of your tables, if you're looking for somebody and you enjoyed the kind of things I was willing to put forth today, feel free to send me a DM and let me know that you've got things open. My schedule's a little limited right now because I do have a day job. I do slave for the corporate masters, as we all do, most of us anyway. So I will do the best that I can. If you are interested in 40K and want to go play at that one's table, I'm going to be there too. So you should come see me and hang out, and it'll be a good time. Other than that, I'm really excited to play an old man who might start losing his mind and doesn't trust any of these idiots as far as he can throw them, which isn't far because, as previously mentioned, he's an old man. So that's going to be a good time.
Excellent. I'm just quickly updating because I see I did not, for some reason, I did not update the links, and so I'm doing that right now. So it'll be there. Now this is being very cool. This is very cool. I'll go ahead and do most of my ending spiel before we dive off. And and we get to and we find out what one thing that is coming, perhaps. But I'm Jim Ryan. I'm very excited about this whole thing. I've been wanting to play Bookhounds of London for a very, 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 very long time, ever since I discovered it existed. Strangely enough, my first contact with it was the Fiasco playset they made for it, where I was just playing some sort of strange noble who ended up was a rival of folks in various mystical orders, and ended up riding through Aleister Crowley's house on a giant Cthulhuid pig. It was very strange. But you can find me at Otherdoc on Twitch, YouTube, and most social media platforms. Wherever I'm not Otherdoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. Provided, if all is well for Lucci, then like a little less than a week from today, on Thursday, we'll hopefully get back to Suspended, the text adventure game where we're playing someone who's the central mentality of a luxury planet of sorts that is going horribly awry, and the weather is not working properly, and we have robots running around the base trying to fix things. So that I think is going to be fun, an old text adventure. And then, of course, a week from today, we will have more of this. And I'm very excited to sink my teeth into the world that Pope has crafted for us, and that we have crafted together today. So very, very excited to see this go. And that is most of what I have to announce right now. So before we sign off, Pope, you have a final word for us?
Yes. This one's going to be more cinematic than my usual comic book style. So, a rising cut to an interior space. Rough table, clearly lit by candlelight. On it, you see some very rough hemp rope, a few drops of blood. The sounds of somebody slowly stirring in pain. Then we just pan upwards. Shadows, not quite discernible. Are they people? Are they not? And we get to look at the room somewhat. It's, from what we see, it's circular. And there's a series of shelves that we start focusing on. And there's these little curios sitting on the shelf. One is some form of orb. Another is a box. One's sort of a pyramid. As we all camera pans closer and closer, it looks to see that these each puzzle boxes of some sort. And then we hear an ear-piercing scream. Fade to black.
Excellent. Excellent. Folks, please remember that you're unique, and that is wonderful, because variety is important. You matter. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.